You don't get to do this to me. Not after everything. She blocked the doorway with her arms crossed, mascara running, voice cracking on every third word. I set the envelope on the kitchen counter between us. Everything, I said. You mean the 2 years you spent treating me like a rehearsal dinner before the real wedding? Read it. Page 4 is my favorite. My name is Daniel Reeves. I'm 41 years old, and until a Saturday afternoon last April, I genuinely believed my wife Cassandra and I had the kind of marriage that other couples quietly envied. We lived in a modest ranch-style house in Raleigh, North Carolina, on a street where the neighbors waved and the dogs knew each other's names. I'd been working as a regional logistics coordinator for a mid-size furniture distributor for 9 years. Good pay, steady hours, a boss who actually said thank you. Cassandra taught private piano lessons out of our finished basement. She was 36, elegant, the kind of woman who turned heads at the grocery store without trying. We'd been married 4 years, together 6, no kids yet. We had a rescue beagle named Penny, who slept between our feet every night, and a cast-iron skillet I'd inherited from my father that Cassandra refused to let me cook in until she'd supervised me cleaning it properly. Those were the kinds of things our fights were about. Or so I thought. I paid the mortgage. I paid both car notes, her leased Audi Q5 and my 2013 GMC Sierra. I covered the utilities, the groceries, most of the dinners out, and every vacation we'd ever taken. Cassandra's piano income paid for her clothes, her hair appointments, and the monthly wine club she shared with her older sister Vivian. I didn't mind. I grew up watching my father bust his back at a paper mill for a woman who never once said she was proud of him, and I'd promised myself that when I got married, I'd be the opposite. Generous, present, reliable, the kind of husband who showed up. Cassandra used to tell her piano students' mothers that she'd lucked out with me. I believed her. That's the part that still stings, even now. Not the betrayal itself, but the memory of how thoroughly I trusted it. The first crack appeared in late February. Nothing dramatic, just a shift. Cassandra started taking her phone into the bathroom. Every time, even for 2-minute trips. She used to leave it face up on the nightstand. Charger unplugged, no password. Suddenly there was a 6-digit PIN, and the screen flipped face down whenever I walked into a room. New privacy settings, she said when I mentioned it. One of my students' moms had her photos leaked. It freaked me out. I believed her. Why wouldn't I? Then came the sister visits. Vivian lived 40 minutes away in Durham, and the two of them had always been close. But suddenly Cassandra was driving out there twice a week. Tuesdays for lunch, Saturdays for wine and vent sessions. She'd come home at 11, sometimes midnight, smelling like a restaurant I didn't recognize. One Saturday in March, I asked if I could come along. Just once. I hadn't seen Vivian since Christmas. Cassandra laughed, but her eyes didn't. Honey, it's sister time. You'd be bored out of your mind. We mostly just complain about Mom. I like your mom. That's because you don't have to be her daughter. She kissed my cheek and left. Penny the beagle watched her go from the window, tail not moving. The third flag was the money. Cassandra had always paid for her own small things. But in April, our joint checking statement showed 3 Venmo transfers to V. Hartwell, her sister, for $200 each within the same month. When I asked, Cassandra said Vivian was helping her buy a gift for my upcoming birthday. A $600 gift? I said, trying to keep my voice light. It's a watch. I've been saving. Vivian helped me track it down. My birthday came and went. I got a card and a new coffee mug that said "World's Okayest Husband." A joke, she said. The real gift was still being finalized. The 4th flag was smaller, but it lodged in me like a splinter. We were watching a movie, some thriller where the husband discovers his wife has been cheating. The character, devastated, asked his friend what he should do. And Cassandra, without looking up from her phone, muttered, "Just leave already. He's pathetic." I looked at her. She didn't notice. She was smiling at whatever was on her screen. I told myself I was being paranoid. I told myself that good marriages survive dry spells, that I was overreacting, that noticing everything was a form of insecurity I needed to work on. I told myself a lot of things that April. None of them were true. On Saturday, April 19th, I left the house at 9 in the morning for what was supposed to be an all-day fishing trip with my brother-in-law Kyle on Jordan Lake. We'd been planning it for 3 weeks. Cassandra had circled it on the kitchen calendar in purple ink. Kyle called at 10:15 just as I was pulling into the bait shop parking lot. His youngest had spiked a 103 fever. He was so sorry. Rain check. I sat in the truck for maybe a minute, debating. I could fish alone. I could drive back home and salvage the day with Cassandra. Maybe take her to brunch at that place on Hillsborough Street she liked. The second option won. I didn't call ahead. I wanted to surprise her. The Audi was gone when I pulled up, but Vivian's silver Lexus was in the driveway. That was strange. Vivian almost never came to our house. She and Cassandra always met at Vivian's. I used my key. Penny greeted me at the door, tail wagging, but she did a funny thing. She immediately trotted back toward the basement stairs and stopped, looking back at me, like she was waiting. I heard voices down there, women's voices, low, conspiratorial, the way people talk when they think they're alone. I stopped at the top of the basement stairs. The door was open a few inches. I couldn't see them, but I could hear every word. Vivian was speaking. So, when are you finally going to tell him? God, I don't know. Cassandra's voice, tired, irritated. It has to be perfect. If I just drop it on him, he'll fight me on everything. He'll drag out the divorce, get lawyers, and I'll be stuck. You've been stringing him along for almost 2 years, Cass. He's a backup plan, Viv. That was always the deal. If things with Marcus didn't work out, Daniel was there. Safe. Boring. But solvent. And now that Marcus left his wife, now I need to get out clean. Daniel has the 401k, the house equity, the good credit. If I play this right, I walk away with half of everything and Marcus and I start fresh. What's your plan? I've been laying groundwork since January. Telling Mom and a few friends he's been distant, cold, drinking more than he does, mean when we argue. By the time the papers come, the narrative's already built. He'll look like the bad guy, and I'll look like the one who finally got the courage to leave. My hand was still on the doorknob. I don't remember breathing. I remember the taste in my mouth. Metallic, like I'd bit my own tongue. I remember Penny looking up at me with those old, soft eyes. I remember the exact pattern of the runner rug at the top of the stairs. I backed away, silently, step by step. I closed the front door so gently the latch didn't click. I sat in my truck 3 blocks away for 20 minutes. The fishing rod was still in the bed. The tackle box rattled every time a car drove past. Part of me wanted to go back in, kick the basement door open, and make them both feel what I felt. That part got louder for about 5 minutes. Then it got quiet. The quiet part, the part that had spent 9 years coordinating logistics for a living, took over. Logistics is just a fancy word for thinking 3 moves ahead. I drove to a Waffle House, ordered coffee. I didn't drink. And I started writing on a napkin. What I know, what I need, who I can trust. By the time the waitress refilled my cup the 3rd time, I had a plan. First, I called my cousin Reggie. Reggie is a paralegal at a family law firm in Charlotte, and the closest thing I've had to a brother since my actual brother died in a motorcycle accident 6 years ago. I told him everything in about 4 minutes. He didn't interrupt once. Daniel, he said when I finished, you're going to do exactly what I tell you and you're not going to improvise. Understand? Understood. Step 1. You go home today and you act normal. Smile. Kiss her. Ask about her day with Vivian. You do not confront her. Not today, not tomorrow, not until I tell you. That's going to kill me. It'll kill her more later. Step 2. Tomorrow morning you're going to meet with an attorney I trust here in Raleigh. Her name is Patricia Webb. I'll text you her cell. She owes me a favor and she's a pit bull. Okay. Step 3. Starting right now, you document every conversation, every transaction, every text. North Carolina is a one-party consent state for recordings. You can record any conversation you're part of. Do it. Phone app. Practice today so it's automatic. Got it. Step 4. And this is the most important one, Denny. You do not move a single dollar out of any joint account until Patricia tells you to. You do not change locks. You do not take anything from the house. If you flinch first, she wins. Got it? Got it. I drove home. Cassandra was in the kitchen making herself a salad. Vivian was gone. Back so soon? She said, smiling. Kyle's kid got sick. I decided to just come home. I kissed her cheek. She smelled like perfume and something else. Cigarette smoke faintly. Cassandra didn't smoke. How was your sister? Oh, you know, same old Vivian, complaining about her boss. I opened the fridge. Want me to grill those chicken thighs tonight? The marinated ones? That would be amazing. I smiled at her. Really smiled. The way I always did. Inside, something had already begun hardening into shape. Over the next 3 weeks, I became the best husband Cassandra had ever had. I brought flowers home on a Wednesday. I fixed the leaky faucet in the guest bathroom she'd been nagging about for months. I took her to a jazz brunch on Mother's Day weekend, even though she wasn't a mother, because her mom was in town. And every night after she fell asleep, I sat in the garage with my laptop and copied years of bank statements into cloud folders she didn't know existed. Patricia Webb was 62 years old, had silver hair cut short, and wore cowboy boots under her pantsuit. The first thing she said to me was, "Your wife picked the wrong husband to underestimate." Over 3 weeks, we built the case. I recorded 2 phone calls. One where Cassandra complained to Vivian about how slowly I was spiraling and how she wished I'd just do something stupid already. Another where she told a piano student's mother that our marriage had been effectively over for a year. I gathered bank statements proving I'd paid 92% of household expenses over the 4 years of our marriage. I photographed the purple-inked calendar entries for her sister days. I found the Venmo receipts to Vivian that didn't match any gift I'd ever received. And then, this is the part I still can't quite believe, Marcus found me first. His wife Rebecca had hired a private investigator in March. She'd known about the affair for 2 months and had been building her own divorce case. On May 7th, Rebecca called me. A mutual acquaintance, a piano parent, had given her my number. "I'm not going to waste your time," she said. "I have photos. I have hotel receipts. I have a 7-month timeline. If you want copies, they're yours. All I ask is that you don't tip off my husband before I file." I met her at a coffee shop in Cary. She slid a manila envelope across the table. Inside were 11 photographs, 4 hotel invoices, and a spreadsheet. I thanked her. I meant it more than I've meant almost anything. Saturday, May 17th. I asked Cassandra to be home at 2. I said I wanted to talk about our summer vacation. She made tea. She put out the good cookies from the Italian bakery on Glenwood. At 2 o'clock, the doorbell rang. It was a process server. I'd arranged it with Patricia. The papers were filed Thursday. The service was timed for this moment. Cassandra opened the envelope in front of me. Her hands started shaking on page 2. "Daniel, what is this?" "It's a divorce petition, mine." What are you talking about? We haven't even..." Pages 4 through 7 are an itemized summary of evidence. Pages 8 through 12 are financial records. Page 13 is a list of potential witnesses, including your sister, 2 of your friends, and Marcus Ainsley's wife. The color drained out of her face in stages, forehead first, then cheeks, then lips. "Daniel, please. Wait, I can explain. The recording from April 19th is on page 14, transcript only. The audio file is with my attorney. April 19th. I came home early that day. Kyle's kid got sick. I heard you and Vivian in the basement. I heard the phrase backup plan. I heard the word solvent. I heard the whole strategy." She sat down on the couch, still holding the papers. She didn't cry. She just looked at me like she was seeing me for the first time. "How long?" "Almost a month." You pretended for a month?" "I pretended for a month. You pretended for 2 years. I think I win." She tried 3 more tactics in the next 20 minutes. Anger. "You're unbelievable. You could have just talked to me." Denial. "Marcus is a friend you don't understand." Sorrow. "I didn't mean any of it, Daniel. You have to believe me." I didn't raise my voice once. I just kept my hands folded on my lap and waited for her to finish. When she finally did, I said, "My attorney will be in touch with yours. Please don't contact me directly again." Then I picked up Penny's leash and took her for a walk around the block. The divorce took 4 months. Cassandra tried through her second attorney, she fired the first one within a week, to claim half of my 401k and a share of the house equity. Patricia shut both down. The recordings, the financial disparity, the affair documentation from Rebecca, and the testimony Vivian was unwilling to give under oath meant Cassandra walked away with her Audi, her piano, her personal belongings, and the credit card debt she'd been quietly running up since January. No alimony, no equity split, no 401k. Marcus's divorce finalized 6 weeks after mine. Rebecca got the house, the kids, and most of his pension. Marcus and Cassandra moved in together briefly in a rented townhouse in Apex. According to Vivian's Instagram, which I checked exactly once out of morbid curiosity, they broke up in September. Vivian hasn't spoken to me since May. That's fine. She sent one long email in June trying to explain her side. I never opened it. Rebecca and I have coffee every couple of months. Not a romance. We're both allergic to the idea right now. But she's become a real friend. Two people who got lied to by the same kind of person tend to understand each other. I kept the house. Penny still sleeps at the foot of the bed. I cook in the cast iron skillet however I want now. Sometimes I over-season things on purpose just because I can. Here's what 2 years of being someone's backup plan taught me. The person you think you're building a life with might just be using your foundation to build somewhere else. Pay attention when they stop telling you what they're afraid of. That's the first thing they take with them when they've already left. What would you have done if you'd heard what I heard from the top of those basement stairs? Let me know in the comments.